Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Pan, Technical Evangelist for Viv Labs. In this video, we're going to be covering frequent rejections during the Bixby capsule approval process. And this one's going to be about dispatch names and aliases. This is the second video in a 4-part series for the Bixby capsule approval process. The links for the other parts of the series will be in the description below. And the dispatch name lives in the capsuleinfo.bxb file. And it is used for named dispatches. So when you're using Bixby, this is the way to actually initiate your capsule from the top level. And here is the documentation description. So here are the rules for the dispatch names. First of all, they are required. So you absolutely must have a dispatch name or else your capsule will not be approved. Second, they should match the display name. They must work with ASR, Automatic Speech Recognition. Be sure to test this thoroughly. You can test it in the simulator. And I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how you can test your dispatch name. Click on this little microphone icon. The unofficial Pokédex.
Venipede. Its bite injects a potent poison. Enough.
Here you can see Bixby's ASR recognize the unofficial Pokédex. This is a great way to test to see if your dispatch name is ASR friendly. Now, if your name does not work with ASR, and you really want that name, you can file a ticket at bixbydevelopers.com for your own custom ASR, so some kind of word that's not common or not a word. Now, your custom ASR ticket is not guaranteed to be accepted, but in the case that it is accepted, it also may take a couple weeks for it to actually be implemented. So it's recommended to just pick one that Bixby's ASR just works with. Now, the next rule is that it must be 2 words or a non-generic compound word. If you add the word the and other filler words like a, and, etc., those words do not count towards this 2-word rule. Also, the dispatch name can't be too generic, so something like fun game would just be rejected. The dispatch name must be unique. Now, what this means is that no other capsule on the marketplace can have already taken your dispatch name. So if your dispatch name is already taken, you're going to have to choose a different one. And capitalization does not matter. And finally, it cannot contain the word Bixby or other, very prominent brands like Google, Apple, etc. Yeah, that should be obvious. Now here's some examples of dispatch names. Can you tell me which names would be accepted and which names would be rejected? You can pause the video, give it a quick look, but whenever you're ready, I'm going to move on. The first one will be rejected. It is just simply way too generic. At least try a different adjective besides fun. The Pokédex is also rejected. The word the is not counted towards the 2-word criteria. And also there might be some copyright issues with just claiming it as the Pokédex. The unofficial Pokédex is a pass. It is 2 separate words, and it's very clearly indicating that it's not an official Pokédex from Nintendo. However, in the hypothetical situation that Nintendo does file a DMCA, there's no choice but to change the name or to remove it. Next is bookkeeper. Bookkeeper is a compound word, and I'd say it's a fairly uncommon one. So that also helps it avoid the it's too generic rule. Google, Bixby, Siri, Uber, this is an obvious fail. And sleep sounds is also a fail because this dispatch name has already been taken by, you guessed it, sleep sounds. So here are a few more examples. The word snoopifier is a fail because the ASR will simply not recognize the word snoopifier. And the word smoothie is a pass because it is, first of all, unique, and second of all, ASR does recognize it fairly consistently. Daredevil is interesting because it is a compound word and it does pass. However, whether it passes or not depends on the content of the capsule. Now, if the content of the capsule is mostly focused on the Daredevil Marvel comics series and stuff like that, it's very likely to be rejected. However, if the capsule is more about daredevils, like individuals that do daring feats, this capsule would be accepted. Nighttime is a fail because it's a homophone. So homophones are words that have other words that sound just like it. In this case, ASR will struggle heavily with this and oftentimes return night as in day and night. Next is the dreaded dispatch alias. Tons of capsules have been rejected for the dispatch alias, so this part's pretty important. Dispatch aliases live in the same file as the dispatch name. Here's the documentation for it. Here's a description on the documentation for it. So here are the rules for dispatch aliases. First and foremost, they are optional. So if your dispatch name works really well and you want to be safe, you can just simply choose not to use dispatch aliases. Now, all dispatch name rules apply to dispatch aliases, except for the rule where the dispatch name must be unique. So in other words, your dispatch alias can be of a dispatch name that's already been taken. And this is really important. I put a star next to it. Do not use synonyms for any of the terms or any of the words as a dispatch alias. This is one of the #1 reasons why capsules fail. Now, dispatch aliases, we don't typically allow them to address ASR issues. However, sometimes we do let them address minor ASR issues. Just to be safe, I do recommend avoiding dispatch names that have a lot of ASR issues or even some ASR issues. You want to stick with one that's consistent. Now, you can use dispatch aliases to split compound words. This is actually a common use case for dispatch aliases. You can also use dispatch aliases to add words like the and also make various words plural or singular. And just like before, make sure to test your dispatch aliases thoroughly. So based on the previous example, let's use the dispatch name Daredevil, and let's pretend that this capsule is about daredevils and not about the Marvel movie. So here are some potential dispatch aliases that one might consider. Can you tell me which ones would be accepted and which ones would be rejected? The first one is a hard rejection. Now this is a completely different pronunciation from the dispatch name, and this also breaks one of the golden rules of dispatch aliases: don't use synonyms. So stuntman in this case is a synonym for a daredevil. This alias, dare space devil, is a pass because dispatch aliases can be used to split compound words into two separate words. Brave devil is also a fail because although you've kind of split the words, you've changed the first one, dare, into a synonym, brave. The plurals are fine for dispatch aliases. In this case, daredevils is a pass. The daredevils, which combines splitting daredevil and also adding the word the, is also a pass. And finally, their devil, which does happen every now and then when you say daredevil into Bixby's ASR. Now this one is a big maybe, but it's more likely to be rejected, so I would err on the side of not incorporating this. And hopping back to the spreadsheet that I showed in the first video, here you can see that I actually did highlight the dispatch name fail conditions that are extremely common. Now, although it doesn't outline every single way that your dispatch name can fail, you should absolutely check whether your dispatch name is too generic, whether it's unique, whether it's nearly identical to the display name, and same with the dispatch aliases. Just kind of a general check for your dispatch aliases if you do use them. And yeah, that's about it. The link to this Google spreadsheet will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. My name is Jonathan Pan, Technical Evangelist for Bixby. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do let me know in the comments below if you found the spreadsheet useful. I did compile that from our capsule review process. So if a lot of you guys found it useful, I will do my best to keep it updated. Thank you very much.